Hello YouTube, welcome to part 3 of my bush bag. This is my bush bag. There's the rest of it sitting there. Reason I use this is because where I go I have a lot of clay, a lot of hills, a lot of ditches, and when the lid's on here, which is somewhere, oh there it is, this is watertight when I put the clamp on it. My big favorite thing of carrying this thing is the simple fact that I can use it as a camp chair, because you can literally beat the living crap out of this thing. And I mean, I've never even broke the handles off of it yet, which, give me time. I figure sometime this year or next I will snap the handles off. But it keeps all your stuff watertight. It will float down the river or sink to the bottom depending on how much stuff you got in there. And you can use it as a camp chair. I have horrible knees. I love being able to just sit down. I don't have to cut down a log or kneel down or anything like that. I like keeping my legs and my butt dry. And if you're in the bush for 2 days, being dry is really awesome. But let's give you a quick overview of what I keep in here. Now this is just a random selection of stuff. It changes depending on my mood, depending on what I'm planning on training my kids with, depending on how long I'm going. But this is kind of a pretty average setup. And we'll go with, speaking of being dry, this is stuff that I tend to keep at the top of the bag. This is just a rubber pants. They're really cheap. But those are those elastic cuff pants, elastic cuff, just so I can pull my boots off or my shoes off, and I can pull those on, keep my legs dry. And this is a military poncho, and I bought a super heavy one that's all wrapped up with a bank line. I could use this for cover if I desperately need to, but it's more just to keep me dry. It is heavy, heavy, heavy duty, and it, if you can hear that, it weighs something. It costs me a lot in ounces and pounds, but when it's that heavy a material, and the places I go through with those 2-inch Hawthorns, the Hawthorns have not punctured this yet, now that I said that, but they haven't punctured it yet, so that's why I love that one. Now what I'll show you here is just some other toothbrush, toothpaste, there's dental floss in there. I keep actually double of a lot of stuff. Now again, it depends on who I'm going camping with. They'll bring their own stuff, but I have a spare one that I don't use, that if they're desperate, something's stuck in their mouth, I have a spare one. Here you go. But for the most part I only go for 2 or 3 days, so it's not really a huge issue. But I don't like my breath smelling like butt. Another wonderful thing, my Shemag or Shemog. Also, what prepper homesteader doesn't have a Shemog? Great for tons and tons and tons of uses, guys, like medical, first aid, blah blah blah. There's tons of videos. I can go on and on and on, but realistically, just get one. They're great for filtering. And in my area, what I use it for the most is when it's hot and muggy in the summer. I strip myself down to an undershirt and I throw this over top of me just to keep the mosquitoes down. I don't get overheated then, and I can wrap this up over my head. My hair is short, but you know, you can wrap it over your hair, you can wrap it over your shoulders, keep the mosquitoes out of your way. What I got here is, this is a little medical kit, and I mean, it's just a lot of basic stuff. It's not even worth really going into. There's some gloves, there's trauma pads, but it's mostly ouch ouch boo boo, and also dealing with kind of major punctures due to the fact that where I go camping, and again, I'm 280 pounds, guys. The guys I go camping with, they're not carrying me out of the bush, so I need to snap the stick off and shove a tampon in the hole. So I do carry tampons. Also, sometimes my wife goes camping with me, and she's happy. This is something new that I got when I was in one of my trips in Toronto. Shout out to Hoople's Cat. Go down on Kensington Market. These were on half price, so it was only $14. And I'm going to be honest with you, the main reason I bought this little kit was because I wanted it. Anyone who's read the SAS Survival Guide, this is the kit that John Lofty's talking about. And I wanted one. It is a British kit. That's not a Canadian thing. The other big thing I carry for a good chunk of the year is a very simple, crack the lid off. This will take ferro sparks. And it's heat. It's canned heat. You can cook on it. It's not what I use it for. I keep it around because I live in Canada. Guess what Canada's synonymous for? Cold. You need to stay warm. Ooh, look, it's poisonous. So that's why I just keep it around. And I mean, I've had this one, I've burned it probably 10 or 15 minutes in the 3 years I've had this can. But the little bit of weight it takes up, and I mean, it's not free. It weighs something. It is liquid. It sloshes around. But I would much prefer being able to warm my hands up and be able to start a proper fire, or, you know, dump this into a fire, bust open the can, and really start a real roaring fire, than freeze to death. Well, this video is getting long. I think we're going to have to go into another part soon. But here's some of the food I actually keep up as well. Just simple stuff, guys. Oh, this isn't food. This is something I bring on every camping trip. Kids or not. They're biodegradable. And if you've been in the sweltering, humid weather I have in here in southwestern Ontario, being able to give yourself a little hobo shower so you don't get the chafing is awesome. A lot of people do have the wet, and I mean, it weighs a lot because they are wet wipes, and that's a full package. I could weigh it off for people if they ask, but man, that makes a huge difference when you can get that salt off your body. So again, just random food. You know, yeah, it's not anything special or anything great for you. I don't even know which MRE this is. Oh, look at that. Hey, pasta. I had pasta for supper tonight. And why don't I just move this on to another part, and we'll get on to more of these other items. Stay tuned, guys.